This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.
He's going to show us now!
And a big good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Formula Virtual Racing. We are here for the Season 8. No, we're not here for Season 8. We're here for Season 12. It's round number 8. It's the Dutch Grand Prix live from the circuit Zandvoort, a 4.259 kilometre circuit, 2.646 miles to be exact. It's a fabulous racing facility here on the Dutch coast. And there is one Dutchman who is looking to try and extend his championship lead by a very, very comfortable margin. It is, of course, legend Rosenberg, a man who has only won his home Grand Prix once, but he'd love to do it again. We've never had a repeat winner here at the Dutch Grand Prix, but I think that might change today, potentially. The man joining me for the action, as per usual, it is, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the man suffering from being a football fan. It is Brendan. Brendan, how are you keeping?
Could be better, but also could be worse. I know, with context, I'm a Barcelona fan, and yeah, Tuesday wasn't great, but today should be a bit better because there's another chapter in this title race. Rosenberg is starting to stretch his legs a little at the front, but we know in FVR this you just can't say when it's over. It's all it takes is one mistake or just one incident, and all of a sudden the title race closes up. There's 14 points between Rosenberg and Davison, with Davies a further 8 behind, but who knows? By the end of this race, it could be Davies tied at the top.
Yeah, literally last season, the season ended and the title still changed hands. So anything can really happen. It's never really over. But Rosenberg would love to try get as close to wrap it up as possible here this evening. Obviously, mathematically, he can't wrap it up just yet. But he'd love to get quite close to it, as we do see legend Rosenberg just heading in towards the Hans Ernst Bocht chicane, turn number 11 and 12. Realistically, he's the favourite for the win here this evening. He's kind of the favourite whenever it shows up, his legend, and especially how in form he is as of late, heading into pretty much his own backyard. So down towards the start-finish line, he's got to be the man to set the banker here. Eager to go is Rosenberg. That's a 1:08.2, and some guys will be doing very good to get even close to that pretty much. There goes Morris Stumer, 1.2 off. Then it is the Alpine of Lewis McWilliam who's back here for this evening. He is going to be well off, but not really a competitive time here from the Scotsman. Here comes Tyler Davison rounding off the banking. He's the man second in the championship. He's going to go 4 tenths adrift. Gobadi goes to second, so strong lap there from him. Here comes Luke Davies across the line. He'll be 5 tenths off in 4th position. And then it'll be the second of the two Red Bulls, Conor Rochford, rounding for the banking. That's a very good banker time from Legend, and that quite scares me.
Oh, right. It gives a little bit like deja vu from last week.
And from the week before, and from probably the week before, and from probably the week before that.
Yeah, I think we get the point now.
The only thing is, he is challenged in the races. So we have Red Bull dominance in the one session. You probably don't mind a little bit of dominance. You want the excitement in the second session, which is the race. And we had a very interesting race last week in Monaco. Legend did win quite comfortably. Didn't really have it all his own way, maybe at times. A few safety cars were sprung into the mix to try and, well, I'm not going to say try create a bit of excitement, but they did create a bit of excitement. A couple of tricky incidents, a couple of tricky moments for some drivers, and overall it led to a very good race. And it was an enjoyable Monaco Grand Prix, one of the more enjoyable ones. I think this Dutch Grand Prix could be enjoyable here this evening. There is multiple Dutch men on the field, of course. We'd love to get a home Grand Prix win. Leroy Van Schendel would love to take a win in his Alpine. And Tim Den Hire would love to take a second FVR win here this weekend. Tim, of course, winning the first race of the FVR GT Championship in the second tier. He narrowly beat me to the win in the Nürburgring, but it was a great win for Tim. He was really excellent. He's looking to continue some good form here this evening. There was an improvement up the order, and that was Niels Hartl, who went to 9th. He was towed to the line by his teammate Tim Den Hire. So good to see some good teamwork at Alpine. Here comes a man by the name of De Vries. Urban De Vries made his debut in Monaco, did not finish the Monaco Grand Prix, but he's looking for a finish here this evening, I think.
Yeah, I think that'd be the main aim. Was the Monaco usually claims that a few drivers never in Stanford. It can definitely happen. You can often get a bit of chaos here, and this track is probably one that's very much like either like it or you don't. And I think a certain McLaren driver by the name of Luke Davies did find out that the hard way in his first title fight, as this was the track where his challenge ended. The poor qualifying really put the nail in the coffin there, because even when he did come back up in the race, it wasn't enough. And Rosenberg had to wrapped up with a race to go. But in fairness to him, it was more surprising how he was able to be in the title fight for so long. I'd say so far, P4 is not the worst spot to be in at all in this track.
No, certainly isn't. It's not the worst banker time Luke could set in fourth. He's competing really with Tyler, I suppose, this evening once again. Those two have kind of been competing all season and hoping something goes wrong for Legend. Oh, that is... What in the name of all things is Pistil? Oh, he's getting himself disqualified because he has a qualifying ban, but that really tripped my nervous system in my brain or whatever. Anyways, Pistilli does have a qualifying ban, as does Borbune here this evening, so they'll have to work in the back of the grid. They have been given qualifying suspensions from the Monaco Grand Prix. Pistilli's was for a penalty point, picking up more than 6 penalty points in accumulation. That's the word I'm looking for. From Interlagos, actually, where he did win the race, then received so many post-race penalties he didn't score points. Borbune's was for a major qualifying impediment in the Monaco Grand Prix. It was Morris Stumer who he blocked on that occasion. Here is Cam Dulger, who actually, this is a funny one. Every week, pretty much, he kind of declines his attendance and says he won't be able to show up because he's on a family trip or a holiday or something. And he's almost 9 out of 10 times pretty much here. So the commitment from Cam is impeccable. Let's see how committed he is in this first banker time, however. Rounding through the Kumho box of turn 13 in towards the corner named after famous IndyCar driver Ari Lundijk down towards the start-finish line. It'll be 12th for Cam, so not really what he can do. He's always a better qualifying or race driver than he is qualifying. He's won multiple drivers of the days this season for his comeback drive, so be looking in for that trend to continue. Here comes Tyler Davison on his lap, though, heading through the first corner.
Yeah, so in through these turns, I think this bank corner, very much a choice of line here. It's a very personal preference sometimes. Although I would say just keeping it tight to the inside usually works out alright. It's really quick right-hander. You just need to make sure you don't touch the inside curb. You want to get as close as you can, but not too. The same with here. And once again now, what seems like an endless amount of right-hand turns finally is broken out by a few lefts. you just need to make sure the power is stable. You don't want to get any wheel spin there because it will send you around easily. Now keep braking for the chicane. The curve there isn't as vicious as it would have been maybe years previous from my own view here. And the final braking zone for the bank right-hander. You just have to keep the car in a straight line. That's all you have to do. And then up the line is a 108.4.
Oh, that's a good
We're
lap.
getting a little closer.
Yeah, that's a good lap
Yeah.
from Tyler Davison. The problem is Legends on his next effort. That's a good lap from Tyler. Much better. Jumps himself ahead of the Ukrainian of Avesta Gobadi. Here is Legend Rosenberg running through turn number 10. Then let's see what he can do on this effort. As you can see, Tyler second in the championship behind Legend Rosenberg. 14 points separates the two. So Tyler could really do it outscoring Legend here this week to put the pressure back on. Then it is Luke Davies in third, with Conor Rochford in fourth and Lewis McWilliam in fifth. Conor Rochford really one of the better stories of the season, I suppose you could say, in that second Red Bull. Here comes Legend Rosenberg towards the start-finish line. Let's see what he can do here. Is he going to extend the margin? He is. It's a 108.1. There's a genuine possibility if Legend hooks up the lap right, we could get into the 107s, and that's insane thoughts here at the Dutch Grand Prix. Leroy Van Schendel improves to fourth in the Alpine. Nathan Marriott currently heading through the S's at the start of the lap. He's currently in 10th spot. Nils Hartl is down on his time in 13, so we'll keep an eye on Habib Makuk, who is 2/10 up in the first sector, mind you. But that is not going to continue as he goes bouncing across the curb and the grass in towards the sky flag of turn number 7. Avesta Gobadi on his time.
Oh, he's got to the wall. Oh, lucky to be still in this, I'd say. That was a hefty whack in the rear left.
Yep, and he's going to have to get that one out of Zandvoort Beach on the exit of turn number 9. That's the Bach 9. And yeah, he's going to have to pick his car out of that one. Avesta Gobadi's backed off his lap. He obviously wasn't improving in the middle sector and just fancied a quick trip back to the pit lane. There's no point continuing if you're not improving. That's the attitude Avesta is going with. A man who's not necessarily confident heading into this evening. He felt he was struggling with a bit of pace in last night's FVR GT Championship, which unfortunately he wasn't really himself around the Nürburgring. Usually better in an F1 car, I think, for Avesta, though. That's kind of where his expertise lie, and he's always very quick and always a race win challenger in that car. But it goes wrong for him a lot of the time as well. So he's got to be more consistent, does Avesta. I think that's where his problem lies. He's just not consistent enough to maybe challenge for a championship, which he so badly wants. Here comes Nils Hartl then, running through turn number, the final corner, I should say, turn number 14. He's currently in 13th across the start-finish line for Hartl. It'll be 12th. It's a small jump, but a jump nonetheless. He's closer to the top 10, just behind Stumer, his fellow German, in 11th position. In terms of Dutch drivers here, though, it's one on top, one in 4th, and then there's another one in 8th, and that's about it for the top 10. Oh, no, sorry, I think Boryoshi is Dutch as well, actually, in 9th spot. And there's the confidence that's kicked in. Legend Rosenberg, he's going to keep it in the garage. It's Sebastian Vettel cameo.
Well, certainly just wants to make a point here. That he thinks he can just save the tires and keep pole position, but let's see. Any driver here think they could maybe get into the 108 ones? Probably 108.0 would have to be what you'd be aiming for, just to be absolutely sure. But honestly, it's actually rare enough. Sometimes drivers do retire maybe a minute or two before, if they realise that there's no point going out or there's too late. Usually not in 5 minutes before.
I tell you something, by the way. Julius Gassner, P7, less than a second off Legend Rosenberg. That's a fantastic qualifying so far. Boy, Yoshi's got an adventure. He's got an adventure on the exit of turn 7. That'll be that lap done for Bohr. He'll have to circle back round maybe to pit lane. And there's a spun Can Dulger. He is currently facing the fence on the entrance to the banking in the number 8 Mercedes. And he is round, and he'll have to go again. Probably back to the pit lane if there is a bit of sustained damage in that. But he does have enough time. Very short lap here at the Dutch Grand Prix. But I tell you what, it's the first time this season where Can is being royally outperformed by his teammate. Julius, really impressive stuff. As of now, he could be in for a very good point haul.
Yeah, very much so. It's usually with this, like, drivers are very close and then you see them swapping every week. Or it's very much there is one who nearly could whitewash the other. But I see that Zhao was able to turn the tables at least on one occasion this season. I think for Dolger, if you're wondering, probably that lap, I would probably be thinking it needs to be improved because 109.8 is just a 109.0. That's a lot of time on a very short lap because the track's longer than Monaco, but the time is still the same. Like it's just that bit quicker.
Apologies if you are experiencing a couple of lag issues. Those should hopefully be eradicated right about now. I do apologise for that. It's just a couple of connection issues here at FVR HQ, otherwise known as my house. Another man who we haven't really spoke about, Lewis McWilliam, 3/10 off, and he's got no front wing as of current. That's not really ideal for the Alpine with 3 minutes to go in the session. He might not be starting very high up in this race. Oh, that's a bit Makukov as well without a front wing. A lot of qualifying issues for these guys here at the Dutch Grand Prix.
No, I reckon Lewis, as long as he doesn't lose the car when trying to get into the pits, he will be able to make it out. Because it's a short trip round here, the pit lane's short. You have a minute 2:30, you'll probably be 2 when you get in there. If he gets out around before 1 minute 30, he'll be comfortable. I reckon even if you were out with 1 minute 10, you'd be okay as long as you just got a move on, really.
Well, we will wait and see what happens. Leroy Vinchendel and Avestigo Badi, one of the first few to go on their lap. There goes Rochford round, heading for the first corner. So that's another man having some issues here at the Dutch Grand Prix. It's really not been a successful endeavour for a few of these guys. Morris Stumer's currently on his lap. He's heading down towards the right-hander. He's got his teammate right in front of him, Avesta. I wonder will Avesta be providing a bit of tow to the German? This doesn't look like a competitive lap from Morris. No, it's not. I think he's just on an second install potentially. Let's keep an eye on Leroy Vinchendel here. Let's see what he can do. Two-time FVR winner. No, one-time FVR winner. Sorry, Leroy. He had the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix taken away from him, but he is still a one-time winner. Won in the Belgian Grand Prix, neighbour of the Netherlands, of course. Very good first sector, very strong first sector for Leroy. 23.9. Let's see if this can continue. Heading down towards in towards turn number 8 and in towards turn number 9 and turn number 10. It's sort of a track that I think suits Leroy's driving. We'll see how he can do in the race. A driver who races a lot in GT3 cars, so this kind of sweeping and flowing track sort of suits him a little bit, but we will see how he performs. That's a very good middle sector, actually, as he's almost 0.3 of a second up. If there's a lot more time in this final sector here, I wonder can he get close to his fellow home countryman, Legend Rosenberg, at the top of the order. Running for the final corner now, keeping it to the right-hand side. Where can Leroy Vinchendel go? It's going to be on the front row of the grid. That's a lot of pressure put on our championship protagonists.
Yeah, very much so. Davison is about to start his lap now, so he'll have seen that. He now knows what he's got to do. He's got to, first of all, get back to P2. And well, Davies is doing an alright job, is improving, but it'll need to find more time to really challenge at a minimum, Tyler.
Here comes Avestigo Badi heading for the banking. Let's see what the Ukrainian can do. Wasn't the best middle sector maybe compared to Leroy Vinchendel. Is he going to be able to beat him at the front? No, he won't. It's the second row of the grid for Avestigo Badi. Tyler's found a 10th in that first sector. Luke's found 3/10 in that middle sector. Davies roaring in the technical parts of this Dutch Grand Prix circuit. Boriyoshi goes to 7th. Nathan Marriott goes to 9th. Luke Davies goes to 3rd. Beats Avestigo Badi across the line. That's a nice lap there from the young man. But it's all down to this man, Tyler Davison, the man who won the last time Formula Virtual Racing visited here. That's not a good middle sector. That really is not a good middle sector. He's made a mistake somewhere along the line, and he's got to try catch back up. Lewis McWilliam will start 15th at a maximum because he's ran wide while improving on his time. There'll be no improvement for the Scotsman. Here comes Tyler Davison towards the start-finish line. It could be a crucial front row for him. It'll be a 3rd row for him. It's a marginal improvement, and he's not able to perform in qualifying when he so badly needs to. Julius Gassner is 30 seconds down on his time, so there'll be no improvement for him. And we saw Lewis McWilliam in the gravel briefly. It is Legend on pole comfortably, but it's a fellow Dutchman on the front row. We've got a really interesting race coming up for you folks after a very quick commercial break.
He's going to show us now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dutch Grand Prix here at the Circuit Zandvoort, which first opened in 1948 as part of the wave of post-war motorsport, I suppose, fans, as it really is a fabulous racing facility here in Zandvoort. The banked corner at Tarzan was recently upgraded to an 18-degree banking. But Brendan, is there only one man for the win today? Quick prediction from you.
Logically, it should be Rosenberg, but I feel like Zandvoort, it's just never that simple. I think he'll have to very much fight for it today, and it could honestly be anyone of the top 5 who challenges him for their win.
There's no weather coming into play today, but there really could be outside factors nonetheless, such as safety cars, such as incidents, such as maybe even him not having as good a race pace. It's usually not something we associate with the mighty legend Rosenberg, but it's certainly something that could arise from time to time where he might have an off day, might have a poor day. We wait and see, however, how it goes. Strategy, very interesting one here at Zandvoort as well. I imagine some drivers might be able to risk a soft medium strategy. Some might go for the one stopper, but we'll all see how it finds out here at the Circuit Zandvoort as we go racing here in the Netherlands. That's a great start for Cam Duggar in the Mercedes. It's a great start for Luke Davies as well into turn 1. Gobadi dives the pair of them in towards the first corner. Avesta, Gobadi, they're still free wide here in the exit. Gobadi, Davies, Van Schendel losing out, Davies moving out. That is an incredible move from Avesta Gobadi to get the job done. A really impressive overtake, and Leroy Van Schendel gets the job done as well. He started on the soft compounded tyres. All the top 3 have started on the softs. Tyler Davison second in the championship, now 6th in the Grand Prix. He's lost the space of the race start to Tim Den Heyer.
Yeah, and Tim Den Heyer is usually not the most kind of driver you want to get stuck behind. It looks like Rochford's trying to do his teammate a favour here.
Yep, look at the dive down the inside of Davison.
Yeah, this would be an ultimate team play if he could get past, but always gone for it. He's standing inside, no bit of contact. Well, it looks like Davison's going to survive, so all's well that ends well.
Oh no, it's Julius Gassner. After an impressive qualifying, he spins in the first lap. That's really annoying for Joe. He's reversed in front of a live racetrack. That's really disappointing for Julius Gassner. Avesta Gobadi was able to catch up to legend Rosenberg here. I thought Rosenberg was almost going to have it all his own way at the start of this one. Tyler Bastilli opting for the hard compounded tyres, the only man to do so. You can see the tyres on your screen now. It is softs for the top 3, softs for Rochford and softs for Urban de Vries, and it's mediums for all except Tyler Pastilli. So very intriguing to see the top 3 all going for the soft tyres. They're going to do a soft medium presumably, and the latter folk are going to do a medium soft. You can see now possible race strategies coming up on your screen, but I would like to think they're probably slightly incorrect. If you're going to lap 24 on a set of mediums, you're probably not going to go for a set of the hard tyres. I think that's almost self-explanatory. But Rosenberg, strong start nonetheless, but only a 7/10 of a second gap. Avesta really needs to keep it in his DRS here.
Yeah, Avesta just need to stick there and just hope maybe some safety cars will give him the chance to attack Legend directly. But this race is long, it's 36 laps. It just needs to probably settle in for a little while now. The DRS will be there on this next lap. So just as long as you don't make a mistake now, you should have something to just basically like throwing an anchor onto the car in front of you and pulling you along.
Can Dolger has had some problems as well for the Mercedes team. Mercedes, after what was a decent enough qualifying, 18th and 19th. Horror start for the Brackley team, as that is really not a good sign for them to be 18th and 19th. But Can Dolger can fight back. Julius, is this the day to prove he can also fight back just like his teammate? We will await a conclusion on that one, as Boryoshi 0.2 of a second behind Morris Stumer. If he wants to keep with those in front, Bor, which I'm not so sure if he does have the pace to do so, might have the pace to do so, never really proved it, but he's never really been granted an opportunity to do so either. It's paramount that he gets in front of Morris Stumer, however, because Morris will hold him up. Morris doing a good job. In 8th position is the German driver. And this will be big points for the Ferrari team, as well as that second place currently from Vestigo Badi, if that's how it stands. In terms of the constructors' standings, it's pretty much all but wrapped up. It's Red Bull with a very, very strong lead, as here is Boryoshi. He has slingshot round the outside of the banking. Tyler Davison also ahead of Tim Denhire. Crucial moves around the field.
Yeah, moves are being made. Davison will be happy to just rectify the spot lost on lap 1. But I think his main aim now will be get ahead of the other guy in the same tyres as you. Because, Davies is not somebody who really wants to be losing points to at the moment. And the further back Tyler is, the slimmer his title chances gets, although he has been on record as saying that he wasn't really expecting or thinking he could win the title, so maybe just anything he can get here is nearly a bonus. In some ways, might be the best way for him to think, because there's just no pressure in his mind. Probably performing his best.
Well, lap 4 then out of 36. We're heading through the Ari Lundvik box of turn 14. If you're enjoying the action here, make sure to pop a subscription on the channel. Luke Davies is about to enjoy this a hell of a lot more. He's now up to 3rd. Early degradation maybe for the softs. Early fall off of Vincendel. Hasn't been able to keep up with the top 2. Luke's got to do a lot better job of that. Would I be so confident he can on this mediums? Yes, I would. Luke very quick here this evening so far. He's showing great race pace here in this Grand Prix. Does need to get within that DRS of Avesta though. That's quite crucial to do that. If he can't do that, it'll become a lot easier to stay within it, because he will have that DRS down the 2 DRS straights. But he's in for now, doing a good job. I think Davison now needs to try and get past Leroy Vincendel, who was in a fight with last season, last time we were here in Season 10, was in a fight with Vincendel at points, and came out on top, of course, winning that race. Not really crucial that he gets past into this chicane, but certainly a move into turn 1 might be needed. Vincendel just not driving as well as he did in qualifying.
Yeah, we've seen Vincendel's qualifying points to be very good. Maybe the race quite as good, but I think that might be just something that comes with time rather than just anything to do with Leroy himself. So you see Davison there very quickly.
Wow, Leroy in.
I wonder what the issue is, if there is any. We'll just see there. Is there a wing change?
No.
No, he's. Maybe an undercut might be the way to go here.
Peculiar though, very peculiar. He went for the mediums as well. Can they do 30 laps? I wouldn't say so, but look, there's a reason I'm talking about the race and not in it. These guys know it a lot better. And Leroy into the pit lane. Put on the set of the mediums down to 18th. Started 2nd. Not ideal for Vincendel, but he's clearly trying to come up with something. And we'll look for that and see can that work out in the later stages of the race. His teammate Lewis McWilliams up to 13th. He's going to try and unleash an attack on Adrian Tichy in 12th spot. The Blue Williams and the Blue Alpine about to go battling, and I think Lewis might find this one a little bit easier than some of his moves for the lead, maybe in previous races. Is it going to be down in towards the Hans-Ernst Bocht? It is. It's down the inside for Lewis McWilliam. Adrian, though, hangs it round the outside and he'll have the inside for the next corner. That's not bad defending from Adrian Tishy. I wonder, can Habib McCook maybe capitalise on this one as well, down through turn number 12. That is, that's Urban de Vries, who's gone, and that's the safety car. Your name is Leroy Vichendel. You are not going to be feeling too good about that. That is also Urban de Vries out for the second time in 2 races very early on.
Oh, and looks like Tishy McWilliam, Habib McCook, Borbier and Zauber have all caught the pit lane on time, whereas everyone else will have to go around. But the good news for them is that the safety car actually is behind them, so they are not caught up and having to wait. Well, that is interesting now, especially as this pit lane is already short. With a safety car, it certainly doesn't make much difference at all.
I tell you what, if you're on the softs, you probably feel you're in a great position now, because Legend and Avesta, they might want to get off them just yet, but I mean, it's a free enough pit stop. It's not the worst thing you can be gifted in an FVR race, especially when Legend very much doesn't like safety cars, I think it's safe to say. But yeah, it's not bad at all, that, for these guys. It is for Leroy. It's very bad for Leroy, in fact, because he pit early and will be punished pretty much for that. Okay, all the guys into the pit lane now. It's hards. It's got to be hard tires to the end for all of them, I think.
Yeah. You see, even Luke and Tyler have come in, so they figured that there's no point trying to out-gamble them. If you just stick with them and hope Chaos gives you a helping hand, might be the better idea. But you see, Tyler Pastilli and Nathan Marriott decided they're going to gamble on maybe another safety car down the line, and they've stuck it out. Who knows? Might not be the worst call if they can make it work.
Pastilli and Marriott have stuck it all on yellow, and they're hoping for another safety car later on in the race. And it's also made things a lot more interesting for us at home and for you guys, because Legend now has 2 cars he's got to try overtake. He's not leading from the front in this one. Something we see at many a Dutch Grand Prix, mind you, where drivers maybe stay out for a bit of a gamble, feel there could be a safety car later in the race. If you're Tyler Pastilli, you kind of have to, because you don't have a second set of the hards to go on to. So you'd be shooting yourself on the foot by pitting. He's going to try lead it from the front here. Not a slow driver at all, is Pastilli. Won an FVR race. Won an FVR race on track this season. But did lose it on a penalty count. Nonetheless, I think this is going to be very intriguing at the front of the race. It could be intriguing from the strategy. If there's another safety car, they'll definitely all be pitting again.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if for the ones on hards, they'll probably have to convert to medians. I have to say though, this could be interesting here if Rosenberg catches any trouble passing Marius and Pastilli. But got Davies and Davison there too. They'll be waiting for anything that could happen. As I suspect, when we're seeing on pace today, they seem to be P3, P4, which is probably be a fair assessment of where they are. Maybe P5 if you consider like Van Schendel, who did lose a few spots there, and he'll have to try to fight his way back.
Yeah, in terms of the grid order and the championship order, it is Legend Rosenberg leading the championship battlers in this grid. This is, of course, where he won one of his titles in Season 6, beat Luke Davies to that one. Luke was a much younger and less experienced driver back then, though. I think it's safe to say Luke's a bit of a different animal now. Tyler Davison in second in the championship, 6th in the race. He's behind most of his rivals. He's behind all of his rivals, I should say. It's a 3-horse race at the front. I think it's about time we can admit that. 92 points still available from the races, including this one. That would leave all Yeah, pretty much a lot of people still in, but theoretically, I don't think Lewis or Avesta are going to be able to win the title because Lewis would need to almost. No, hold on a second. This is an ordinary level maths moment. Lewis is definitely out. Out of contention. He's not going to be able to win this one. Let's move swiftly on from that topic. Safety car coming in this lap.
Yeah. Yeah, I think whatever chance McWilliam had, even if he was mathematically in it, it would just be effectively.
I really
Same
had
kind
a
of
howler here. 114 minus 54 is 60, not 100 or whatever I thought. So Lewis is still in the championship. Lewis can still win the championship if you're interested at home. Safety car restart here for Tyler Pistilli. He has led a few of them, mind you, in FVR history from time to time. Never had a Nathan Marriott, dare I say, but he's got to go now, and we go racing here in Zandvoort. That is a brilliant restart from Tyler Pistilli. He's caught out a lot of people, including the mighty legend Rosenberg. Here comes Avesta Gobadi down in towards the first corner. The Ferrari man got past the Leroy Vincenzo and Luke Davies at this point at the start of the race. He's got to try and get past legend Rosenberg here at the safety car restart down in towards turn number 2 and 3. Rosenberg stays ahead for the time being, but that was a scary moment if you are in the monocoque of the Red Bull. Avesta was bumping and banging and trying to find a way through.
Oh, beat Baku because it looks like he's had a bit of trouble there at turn 3. Doesn't appear to be any visible damage, but probably lost time and maybe a bruised ego. Only by Adrian Tishy following and spots, but looks like Dulger very well to back out of that move because that could have ended very, very badly for both of them.
Yep, Adrian Tishy 15th, Callum Dulger 16th down the order, as that is Legend Rosenberg starting to cut through some of the, I suppose you could say, the gamblers, as Legend gets past Marriott. Gobadi's got to try get past Marriott ASAP, which he does. Good move there from Avesta to keep with the soon-to-be race leader, I'd like to say. If Pistilli goes all elbows out here, that would make things a lot more easier for Avesta Gobadi, as here comes Luke Davis getting past Marriott. Tyler Davison's going to try a Hakkinen move down in towards the first corner. He really is going to try a Hakkinen move. It was the Mansell dummy 2 seasons ago. It's the Hakkinen switch on the inside for Davison. Unfortunately, the latter is not to be here today, as we do see a big dive from Tim Den Higher. It just seems like the difference in tyres is unbelievable at this point of the races. Here comes Rosenberg. Is he going to go for into Skyflak? No, he's not. Stays behind.
Yeah, I think it's just not worth it to go for anything at the moment. He's just not going to find.
Might lunge it here. No.
No. You're going to wait for the chicane here, where it does actually make sense to dive it. And you say, oh!
He's actually been tapped in the rear by Avesta Gobadi, and that's allowed Luke Davies through on Avesta. So Legend has lost a bit of time to Pistilli, but he still might be able to get the job done in turn number 1. That promotes Luke Davies into 3rd in this race. A nice sneaky move for the young Brit to get ahead of Avesta Gobadi. Gobadi nudging Rosenberg actually hindered himself more than it helped him. You would have thought Legend would have been the one to lose the time. He lost a tad, but not an awful lot. Here comes Legend Rosenberg in towards the first corner. Luke Davies would have loved to follow suit here and get past Pistilli as well, but it's not going to be. Tyler Pistilli's going to try and hang it around the outside. Might give him a poor exit, so Luke can get past. It won't. Pistilli tried the up and under. Wasn't to be there in towards turn number 1. As it's a huge lunge from Luke Davies down the inside. That is bravery from Luke to get the job done. It's now Gobadi and Pistilli wheel to wheel down towards turn number 7. They go left, they go right, but it'll be Avesta Gobadi who gets ahead. The top 3 have executed pretty much all of those moves, literally inch perfect.
Yeah, and Davison's going to need to get past here sooner rather than later. Stick with this group. And you see there, he's going to go for it now. Oh, that's the issue with that curb. You just can't go on it. Oh, no, on the right. Oh.
It's Tyler Pistilli and Tyler Davison who come into contact. And it's Pistilli who's out of the race. And it's Davison whose championship might be out of the question. That is a very dramatic incident here at the Circuit Zandvoort that sees the 2 namesakes have their races and championships spoiled. Tyler Davison has significant front wing damage. He's down in 7th. A safety car will help him, but he really needed a strong result here today. That is questionable. There's a couple staying out. Luke Davies stays out. Tim Dunhire stays out. Connor Rochford stays out. Boyashi stays out. So does Neil Tartle. So there's a lot more staying out this time round. I tell you what, this is another spanner into the works, well and truly.
Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of people are going to have to just try file their way through now. Gobadi's jumped Rosenberg.
He's done it again! Avesta has done it again. He has jumped Legend Rosenberg in the pit lane. We didn't really know how it happened in Brazil. Dare I say we don't here either. But it is Avesta ahead of Legend.
Good news, Tyler, is that now that it's kind of split, there is a chance for him to work his way back up and get back to kind of where he was. Bad news is he's now technically second last. And I have to say, of all the people to do to get caught up in an incident with, the guy who shares your name isn't really the one you want.
No, it's not ideal. But wow, is this a shuffle? Dutch Grand Prix grid. Davies, Den Heyer, Rochford, Yoshi, Hartle, Tishy, Bune, Dulger, Gobadi, Rosenberg, Vincendel, Marriott, Gassner, Stumer, McWilliam, who's been nowhere today, Davison and McCook. Two non-finishers are two reserve drivers, Tyler Pistilli and Urban de Vries.
Yeah, it's... Say, because McWilliam, usually when he is here, he very much is involved in things, whether it's one way, involved in things at the front, whether it's just through being the quicker driver, or just simply maybe being just in the fight. Today, he's been just oddly anonymous, hasn't really been affecting anything one way or another. Like, it's been very, very quiet by McWilliam standards. But now that he's got a championship contender behind him, maybe it might wake him up a little. Especially the likes of Rosenberg just aren't that far away. And especially with Gobadi now in the being legitimately on the same strategy as Legend and ahead.
Another thing is the tyre advantage we saw in the first stint was huge. It was really big between Marriott maybe on 9-lap old tyres, Hartle, Pistilli on 9-lap old tyres compared to the fresh hards. Fresh mediums against 7-lap old hards would have a similar difference, I'd say. But track position can be key here around Zandvoort. If Luke could build a big enough gap, Avesta, Legend, Leroy, etc. struggle to get through the field, he could be in a really good position here. He's trying something different, is Luke. He tries this a lot, but this is one that could genuinely pay off. We're almost halfway through this race. Davies with the lead and will lead the safety car restart.
Yeah, Davies, this could be a very, very good chance for him to take a good result for his championship against what would be the usual odds. Because it didn't seem like he really had the pace today for that, but these chances present themselves, and I think Davies, if he can just hold on here, could work out very, very well.
Well, let's see. Can he get a similar restart to we saw from Tyler Pistilli, who had an absolute masterclass heading on to this straight the last time round, and now we go racing here at the Dutch Grand Prix. It's a great restart from Luke Davies. He's got ahead of Den Heyer. This is Boyashi trying to get round the outside of Conor Rochford. Bob Bune as well to get down the inside of Adrian Tishy. Nils Hartle staying ahead of one of the Williamses, but not the other. Avesta Gobadi and Legend Rosenberg almost side by side. Cam Dulger's been overtaken by Gobadi. He's been boxed in by Borbune in towards turn number 3. Cam Dulger has touched the inside of Borbune there, and now he's had a massive wobble as Cam Dulger. But my goodness me, is it impressive to keep his car out of the barriers. Avesta Gobadi was involved in that one. Maybe the causer, maybe a sort of an man just who I can't think of the word now. An innocent victim, that's it. Maybe a bit of an innocent victim there. But this is all round crazy. Rosenberg and Gobadi not really gaining any positions. Davies gained 5/10 over Den Heyer, but Tim definitely still in contention here.
Yeah, Tim very much still there. I think that's all he needs to do. Just stick with Davies for the next bit. and I think he'll probably be bringing Rochford with him.
Oh,
In
Davison's
that
on a
case,
warpath. He's gone beautifully around the outside of Julius Gassner, but Tyler Davison means business here. He is not going to let this grid away, but what misfortune has happened to him. He's the Dutch Grand Prix winner. He wants to have that title again. Down into the first corner. Avesta Gobadi going for this one on Bor Bune. Davison in the background going for it on Nathan Marriott. He's the sole AlphaTauri left here in the race as Gobadi gets a bit of a wobble off the curb. Bor Bune trying to do everything for his teammate and stay ahead of Avesta, but nothing that could be done. He's ran a wide line. That's going to allow Legend to just swoop past, and well, they say Red Bull gives you wings. McLaren certainly doesn't give you a wingman. Unfortunately, Bor has not really put up much of a fight there for Legend, but he's running his own races. Bor, he's on way older tyres than Legend. There's not really too much he can do. Here comes Avesta on the back of Adrian Tishy, going to lunge down the inside as Avesta, and that gap is one that's closing. So he's not going to be able to get past now. In towards turn number 10, another nudge. We know Adrian's got to be all elbows out here. That is not even a question. And Avesta has got past nonetheless. Legend follows suit.
Yeah. That's what just has to do. Just keep following and then eventually take the chance. Oh, and that's Stolger out. That's another.
It's a virtual safety car.
VSC.
Oh, that's a bit out as well. He's gone straight on. This is going to be upgraded to a full. Or at least I wouldn't be surprised if it is. But that's two cars out. That is both Alfa Romeos out now. And that is the Mercedes out. Oh, Luke's in.
Maybe.
It's a change of fate. Oh, safety car is out. Full safety car is out. It's this message again. But if you look at the track map on the bottom right hand of your screen, if you just see alongside, parallel to the pit lane, heading through turn 3, that is the safety car. So it's all swapped around again. It's now Legend who leads ahead of the two Alpines. My God, does this race just want to pick a steady order? By the way, Julius Gassner in the lofty heights of 5th here. Really good stuff from Julius. The Mercedesman, mighty impressive so far. He could be in for a very good result, and I hope he's in for a good result. Is young Julius, and the German man can maybe pick up his best FVR career result to date.
Yeah.
Had a strong result in last night's FVR GT Championship, which of course you can check out on Fridays. Next race at Brands Hatch, going to be a good one. Tier 1 on YouTube, Tier 2 on Twitch, so make sure you do check that out when the time comes. Lap 17 here, the F1 race though, around the Circuit Zandvoort. It's currently Legend Rosenberg who leads, but it's been up and down. There'll certainly not be a Grand Slam, and there certainly not will be a man leading all 36 laps like we saw maybe at the Monaco Grand Prix, where we saw someone lead all 39. That was Legend, of course. It's been a really a cracker here so far. About over halfway through the race, or we're certainly just at that point now. Legend very strong. He is on 5-lap old mediums. The thing here is Luke is in 8th, and the gap between tyres is not as big as it was when Legend was in that position and when he was in first. So Legend in a better spot here, I'd say.
Yeah, I think, Legend, this is the best spot to be in at the moment. Now you've Davison, it's not worked out too badly for him in the end here. We'll have to get past McWilliam and Van Schendel, but if you can do that, then it would be second on the road, and then bring us to best spot to limit damage. But yeah, this race has been a little bit weird, and I don't think we're quite done with the weirdness yet.
Yeah, Tyler got his front wing chopped off, was sent down the grid, pitted, ended up in second last, and 2 laps later he's 4th in the Grand Prix. Welcome to Formula Virtual Racing, folks. It's not a series, it is literally the most dramatic documentary sci-fi shenanigans you could ever see. Truly, you don't know what's going to happen in one of these races, and that's the beauty of it. It's not a personality, it's a lifestyle. 2 Alpines, by the way, 2nd and 3rd. Lewis has literally been nowhere in this race. He was nowhere in qualifying. He now could win it.
Yep, that is FVR in a nutshell.
Can I just say something? If it was Luke Davies in Lewis's position, there'd be slander.
Yeah, but then again, I suppose it's just different drivers. This often happens for Luke Davies, whereas usually with McWilliam meter he is very much winning it with pace or just nowhere near to win at all. With Davies, it is a little different, maybe not as blisteringly quick, but has a little edge and consistency that helped them to get two championships and maybe a third in the not too distant future if things fell his way. Even and that wouldn't just be this season; it could be the next season in the new game. Who knows?
Well, let's see then how this one's played. I wonder how this is going to play for the Alpines here, because Leroy's arguably been the quicker of the two all day, but will Lewis, his hunger for a race win, get the better of himself? We go racing for a fourth time here at the circuit Zandvoort. Julius Gassner losing a position to Nathan Marriott, who's trying to go around the outside of the AlphaTauri. Tyler Davison as well as a yellow flag that is for the Ferrari of Avesta Gobadi, who's dropped down the order. So Avesta is down to last here in a race where he's been so high up all evening so far. We snake down towards the sky flak of turn number 7, in towards the right hander. Is Gassner able to go down the inside of Den Higher? No, that would be a silly move if he did, so he holds off maturely. Luke Davies up to 6th so far. Great race start for him. He's looking to try pressure Nathan Marriott and cut into these older tyre runners so far, and he's doing a good job of that. Nathan briefly was on the fresher tyres, but he's back to the man on one of the oldest tyres in the field, worst tyres in the field. Luke dispatches effectively, gets the job done.
Yeah, that's all he's got to do there. Is up to 5th. This is worked out quite well for Davies. He's on the best tyres, and is the head of that group on the best tyres. So just needs to push on here and see what can happen. You see, Davison here knows to get past Van Schendel soon enough, because Van Schendel's on hards, and that should be simple enough for him. But in FVR, future things just aren't quite as simple as they seem.
Luke has really, really good pace on this set of tyres. Luke could still win this Dutch Grand Prix, and I say that it's a big if, but he could still do it. If you're Tyler Davison, how do you play this one? Do you maybe just let Luke through to try cause some carnage with the Alpines and the Red Bull, or do you stick up or do you keep, I suppose, your ideas that you've had all season of doing everything possible to keep him behind? It's a really intriguing conundrum for the second place man in the championship. Does he think of him being in front as the best, or does he think of maybe trying to follow Luke through the two Alpines closer towards his ultimate rival, Legend Rosenberg? It is only 8 points between Luke and Tyler in the championship. Could afford him to let him through, but obviously not really what you want to do. Tyler usually doesn't partake in, I suppose, games like this, and he's going to just do the work himself. Here comes Davison trying to get past Leroy Van Schendel. Lewis got ahead of Leroy. Davison's going to try follow suit, trying to hang it around the outside here in the first corner. This will be a mighty impressive move if he can pull it off. He can't. Van Schendel stays ahead for the time being. Leroy on those hard tyres. Theoretically, you'd expect Tyler to be quicker with those hards. The more time that goes on, the more they'll come into their own.
Yeah, the longer these hards go on, the more potential they have in comparison to these mediums. So if Leroy can just stick it out, I think that'll be all he needs. But it's funny, McWilliams doing a very good job at just sticking with Rosenberg. Extremely good.
Yep, Leroy just ahead of Tyler. Of course, as Celine Dion once said, I believe that the hards will go on. As Tyler's going to probably experience that in the next few minutes. That's being clipped, isn't it? Oh no. Lewis McWilliam. If Lewis won this race, would we say it's his best or his worst performance of all time? Because I'm not sure.
It would very much depend on whether he got to win via an overtake, a legitimate overtake, versus maybe a luck-induced overtake. Because like, obviously, if he does it properly, you would say fair enough. He did it and put in his best driving when it mattered. But if it was just luck, you would just say, you have to just tell him, don't know how you did this, but you did.
As Lewis, he is putting the pressure on Legend. He has done that many times before. in FVR, and he's looking to do something similar to how he won his titles again. These two both, of course, fighting for GOAT statistics, greatest of all time, if you're not too sure what that acronym means. Greatest of all time, both have 3 titles. Legend, the more race wins, Lewis, the more poles, so they're literally on equal footing on a lot of accounts. Luke's extraordinary pace kind of slowed down now that he's caught the front crew, but certainly still on the better tyres, 4 lap better tyres to be exact, and it's a different situation to he found himself in earlier. Earlier he was going for track position, now he's going for, quite frankly, the opposite. Here comes Tyler Davison. Is he going to do it in towards turn number 1? Yes, he is. The Davison dummy returns, folks. He's gone down the inside of Leroy Vinchendel. Honestly, you could have seen that coming from a mile away, but it's the old classic move. He's pulled out again in towards turn number 1, and I tell you what, there's going to be a very happy man in that AlphaTauri, because he's just shown that it wasn't a fluke the first time round. It was purely a piece of fantastic driving. Davison up to 3rd.
You just notice both of them are flashing. They're both struggling with their ERS. You see this top 2? Not a worry for them. They've almost got full battery.
Yep, Davison burned a lot trying to get past Vinchendel. Vinchendel burned a lot trying to keep Tyler behind. So that could be difficult. Let's have a look at Luke's ERS. He's in a good spot. Let's have a look at the front 2 on their steering wheels. Almost full bars. This is a very difficult spot for Tyler if he wants to try beat Lewis and Legend, because he doesn't have the battery saved. He doesn't have an awful lot of time to save it.
Just notice there, that gap is almost a second. I think it is over a second.
Here comes Luke Davies down the inside of Leroy Vinchendel. Luke's got bored, wants to try get past in a similar fashion to how Tyler did. There's no Davison dummy on his occasion. It's just a lunge down the inside. Now on the outside for turn number 3. Is Vinchendel going to run him high? He is. That's a great defensive tactic from Leroy, almost allowing Timothy Hire to swoop in. Luke's now not doing great in the battery front. He's almost down below 10% and flashing.
Yeah, it just seems like you nearly need to be on the bumper of the car ahead of you, or going in, exiting the last corner, just to make sure that the slipstream can get you past, without having to really touch the ERS, because it's so easy to lose the ERS here. Difficult to generate it back, because you do need downforce on your setup. Obviously, higher downforce setup, the harder it is to bring back the ERS.
And Tyler's out of DRS, which means Leroy and Luke are as well. This is looking like it's a 2-horse race at the front. And honestly, I can't see Lewis being too motivated to overtake Legend.
Yeah, like, this is a good result for Lewis, but he's not in a race anymore for the title. And he did win the opening race of the season, but through it's a combination of attendance and maybe 1 or 2 things going wrong in the race he did attend. It's yeah, I think this title is pretty much done, but this would be not a bad result from today.
Here comes Luke Davies again. Thought he had the run on Leroy Vinchendel. Didn't turn out that way. Still 11 laps to go. No, the safety car would really make this an intriguing one. A little bit, just looking down the grid, is Luke's teammate Borbune having a good fight here with Julius Gassner there on the fringe of the point scoring places. Morris Stumer, the man to overtake if you want to score points. As the time being, Julius Gassner spun round and he has hit Borbune, and that's Gassner into the wall, heading in towards turn number 9. Oh, that's so disappointing for Julius. Luke Davies trying to capitalise instantly and get ahead of Leroy Vinchendel for the Hans Ernst box chicane. He has. That's a great move from Luke Davies, but he might be out of DRS at Tyler Davison in front. He's just going to be about in. 14 runners now here. Borbune may have damage from that one, but it is Julius Gassner out. Mercedes, both cars out of this frantic Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah, the 6 year for them, especially as Julius Gassner put in a very, very good qualifying performance. You'd be thinking that's a big opportunity missed.
As I don't think Bor does have damage, because he's now ahead of Morris Stumer. It's a great move there for Borbune, up into 10th spot into the points now. I suppose when the Mercedes you were fighting with for 11th spins out, that kind of motivates you to go for 10th.
Yeah, honestly, Or into the points
Oh,
now.
there's Morris. Morris goes skating across the curb and he slides off a little bit down to 13th. Ferrari, we said they were scoring big points earlier. They're now scoring nothing. 13th and 14th for Morris and Vesta. And Morris is really all over the place here at the time being.
Yeah, it's not been the best of days for Ferrari now. Best 10 minutes or so for Ferrari. But it seems like William, it's not really going for anything here. I'm just a little bit of a shame. Would like to think that William would go for something here, even just to just try. Obviously, still got a few laps to go. Probably can wait a few more laps without it killing his chances of the win. But I think at some point, I'd like to see him go for it.
Yeah, Zandvoort, you got to start trying to tee it up earlier because there's only real one good overtaking opportunity for Lewis. There's more, obviously, if you're behind a car you're significantly quicker than, but when you're on even pace or arguably a little bit slower, there's only real one overtaking opportunity, and that's turn 1. 2 seasons ago, season 10, we saw Tyler tee it up a few times on Thomas Main. He kept trying it around the outside, and then eventually that's where the Davison dummy came from, because he dived to the inside on the last lap. So realistically, Lewis has got to start working this one out about lap 30, lap 31 if he wants to try go for it, because you got to basically give Legend a false sense of security. If Legend forces Lewis around the outside a couple of times, Legend knows, oh, I've got the box ticked there. Legend will go for the same defensive maneuver on the last lap, then Lewis goes for something different, takes the race lead. That's presumably what he will try to do. If he waits until the last lap to go for this one, he's not going to win it, because there simply won't be enough time. If I'm Lewis, I'd be going for the... Well, if I'm making a mistake like that, I wouldn't be going for it. But if I'm Lewis, I'd be going for the race win here. But with Lewis's, I suppose, tight-knit, his unity with Legend, I'm not sure he will. Disappoints me, but there's some logic behind it.
I suppose it's just going for a win now. There's the championship on the line, so maybe it's not going to be as appealing to him to go for a move.
If he wants to prove himself as the best driver, he's got to win this race.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Morris round and into the wall. Oh, there's 2 cars round. That's Nils Hartl and Morris Stumer, who've both spun at the same corner. The Aston Martin and that is a bizarre incident, because we went on board with Morris, and I don't think it was a related crash.
And there's no wing in the Aston. Nothing got called there, or when Julius Gassner crashed out. Have we reached the quota for safety cars?
Well, I don't think so, no.
No, I think we've had 3. Well, it seems like for now they're just not bringing them out. It'll probably take somebody fully crashing out here to bring out another safety car or even a VSC. I reckon somebody would nearly take a gamble on a VSC, given the shortness of the pit lane here.
Yeah, I agree with you, as this is a great battle between Bohr Mune and Nathan Marriott. Bohr getting ahead for the time being, but Nathan giving a right old fight here is Mr. Marriott, as not able to get past for the time being, but it's a good old scrap this for 9th between Bohr, Marriott and Tishy. Tishy will maybe be seeing a good points opportunity here in flashing lights, and rightly so. Could be some good points for him here today if he was able to pick them up. It would be a double score for Williams as it stands if he was able to just get a couple of spaces, or even just get 1 space, he'd be ahead. Another thing here is, at what point does Luke try overtake Tyler? Because it's on. He has the pace for it.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be yes, because I suspect Davies knows that realistically going for a move now probably would result in him being repassed, even with the slight tyre advantage that he has.
There's Borg trying it round the outside, not working on that occasion. Nathan doing a stunning job for a man on 17 lap old hards against a man on 13 lap old mediums. But of course, remember, the hards do get better, as my terrible Celine Dion impression said earlier, as they go on. The man on the mediums being Borbune, he'll have to manage those tyres eventually. Up the top as well, Leroy, at what point do his tyres get better than Luke's and Tyler's?
Yeah, I wondered, but in a way, I suspect him and Luke's are just going to converge down to similar enough levels, like, as it's just slightly older hard tires versus slightly younger mediums. But you see now, Den
Whoa.
Higher has gone for the move, and it's probably a little too hasty there from Den Higher. It's just Van Chendel put the squeeze on him, and he probably could have came in a little less enthusiasm, and it probably would have worked out a little better.
It was very sudden from from Tim Zenhire. He kind of wasn't really close the last couple of laps and then went for it on Leroy Van Chendel, but I respect the effort. He's looking to try and get a top 5 finish here for the Aston Martin team. His teammate Nils Hartl currently down to 13th, but I think Avesta's going for a couple of fastest laps attempts because he's back on the fresh softs coming out of the pit lane. It's a good way to pick up a point when things go wrong, and Avesta certainly trying to do that right now. Up the front though, speaking of that fast lap, it's actually his teammate who gets it, Morris Jumer. Up the front, 7-10 separating Legend and Lewis, and they're both significantly pulling away from the train behind. It would take an external factor to stop one of these from winning this race.
Yeah, one of these is very much going to win this race. Well, you see how the difference in ERS now, even if McWilliam goes for anything, Rosenberg can just defend or repass. If you just see the difference, it's just all the cards are in Legend's favour. There isn't even a card in McWilliam's deck he can pull. Unless one of these Legends crashes out, which would be the equivalent of his cards being a pack of full pack of Jokers. Yeah, I think it's very much his to lose, and I think this grip on a potential 4th championship would be strengthened. Especially, it's only 3 rounds to go after this. The Crews are going to be tightened.
Yeah, definitely. Tyler's still in a good spot. He's losing more points than he really wants to. He doesn't want to lose any points. He ideally needed to gain some today, but a 3rd place is not the worst in the world. Legend, however, will still be outscoring him by a significant amount. It would be by 8 points as it stands. Add that to the 14 he's got already, you're almost at a full race win.
Here comes Davies. Not quite, actually. It looks like Vincenzo is the one trying to make moves. Vincenzo's now lost it. It's going to be Den Higher making a move now instead to the inside. Will become the outside. Vincenzo.
Oh, look at this! Look at Conor Rochford!
Oh.
Look at Conor Rochford trying the opportunistic move down the inside of the both of them. The Alpine and the Aston are side by side into the sky flag. Oh my goodness me, they're nudging, they're banging.
Oh.
Look at this! Tim Den Higher risking it all for a risky move down the inside of Leroy Van Chendel. It's a no-go for the Aston Martin. That was a scary couple of corners, and we're only watching this, but really great racing for such a tight racing facility.
Yeah, very, very good racing. Looks like Van Chendel has it actually worked out pretty well in terms of how to defend turn 3. Very much just knows to try squeeze them up, push them high. Most drivers, either they're going high to begin with, or they want to keep as low as possible. So if you force them out of the comfort zone, you're going to be able to keep the place. So you see there, Davies once again, not pushing the ERS as much this time. But it seems like that used to be us. They're now equaled out, so very much considering it's pretty much an even fight, apart from maybe a slight difference in tyres. Even then, it's probably just minimal enough.
I'm really interested. No, Lewis is not going to be able to win this one. I was thinking, is he even going to go for it? But I don't even think he can. He's got so little ERS compared to Legend. Legend is going to win this one. And he's going to really have one hand on the title, I think. His 4th Formula Virtual Racing World Drivers title. The interesting thing here is between Luke and Tyler, they're both trying to stay in the title fight. Luke has the better pace maybe, but both about the same on the ERS, and we know Tyler can defend. Tyler has had Luke's number in the wheel-to-wheel from time to time, and he's got a brilliant exit out of there, but Luke could be under big pressure here from Leroy Vincendal. He is under big pressure here from Leroy Vincendal. They're both gaining on the AlphaTauri in front. Attack is the best form of defence here for Luke Davies, who has to go over the outside and just lifts off at the time being, doing everything correct. He wants that DRS on the final lap, which he will get, but look at this, Leroy Vincendal! Look at this from Leroy Vincendal. He's got a cracking exit down the inside, slide for the Alpine. Oh, Luke was very sudden on the brakes there. He almost lost the car round. Luke in a very poor position for the time being if he wants to get that third place. Luke Davies might have just lost third place by going wheel to wheel with Leroy Vincendal, but nonetheless, in the wheel to wheel, he was great.
It's fun.
Oh, it's Lewis McWilliam who's gone round. It is an almighty crumble from the Scotsman, but he's still ahead of Tyler Davison. Legends Dutch Grand Prix victory is confirmed now, pretty much.
Yeah, the only person who can lose the victory for Legend Rosenberg is Legend Rosenberg. And if he does that now, it would be an all-timer battle, you would have to say.
And Tyler has more battery than Lewis, but Lewis might have overheated tyres potentially. I think the gap is still a bit too much, but this could get very intriguing. This could be a potential title deciding move. He's gaining. It's going to be a lunge down the inside for Tyler here. No, he goes for the outside. Lewis defends. He's going for the slingshot round the outside. The Scotsman's got to try push him all the way. Tyler's into the gravel. Oh, he's going to lose third. He's off the podium. He's gone for broke. He's almost all but lost it. Round the outside, heading through the Hugenholz in towards the SS section. He's got to get past Luke Davies now if he wants to keep in this title battle. Is he going to go down the inside into the Skyflak? No, he's not. He'll still have a lunge into the chicane potentially, but this is a crucial fight for the final podium place. Davison has to show how good he is as a wheel-to-wheel racer now. This is the biggest time to shine for him, because these 2 points could be crucial, that he might just get over Luke Davies. Is he going to have a go in towards the chicane? I'm not sure it's close enough. No, it's not, but he might be able to have a run down towards the line. The crucial thing here is Luke Davies will have DRS off Lewis McWilliam as well. Ready for the final corner. Legend Rosenberg is going to win his home Grand Prix in front of his home fans and put one hand on the FVR title trophy. But we got to keep an eye here on second and third. It's a drag race to the line. Davies and Davison. It's Davies who gets third. That's truly heartbreaking for the AlphaTauri. He was looking for second in towards turn number 1. He's going to come home fourth.
Yeah, I would say William were very, very defensive there, and then it seems like Davison he just found there wasn't really much road then. I suspect that will be a bit of a contentious issue between them two.
That is a really interesting one. Legend wins his second Dutch Grand Prix in front of his home fans. He'll be delighted. And that is a gap now over the other title rivals. Could be wrapped up pretty soon.
Yeah, it's one hand on the trophy pretty much. But we said that before, and it very much was proven to be one hand was not on the trophy. And if it was very much ripped away by the drivers behind.
Well, we'll try hear from the podium placing drivers in a post-race interview, but let's see them on the podium. It's Legend Rosenberg. He'll get to stand tall in front of his home crowd once again.
Oh my.
Well, we're going to hear from Legend and Luke after. Hopefully we hear from Lewis as well, because I think Lewis is the man we might want to talk to the most after a dramatic couple of laps. But it is Legend Rosenberg. Picks up the 22 points. Won't pick up a fastest lap point. It was one of the Ferraris who got that one, I believe. But here is your full race results. It is Legend Rosenberg ahead of Lewis McWilliam, then Luke Davies, Tyler Davison, Leroy Vincendal, Tim Den Heyer, Connor Rochford, Bor Yoshi, Bor Bune, and then Nathan Mark. The non-point scorers were Adrian Tisci, Vestigobadi, Morris Stumer, and Niels Hartl. And then your non-finishers were Julius Gassner, Habib Makouk, Cam Dulger, Tyler Pastelli, and it is Mr. De Vries in 20th position. Let's have a bit of a post-race interview then, shall we? I think this will be a dramatic one. Probably not from Legends' perspective, but from the other three certainly will be. Let's bring in Legend Rosenberg then. Legend, congratulations. You've won your home Grand Prix. You've won it by quite a margin. You are in a very good position in the championship. This one must feel good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it feels good to win the home GP. Yeah, feels good.
How did you find it out there today? Was a bit interesting. Some of the strategies, a couple of safety cars throwing the strategies out the window. Maybe once you got in front, you seemed to lead at the end. But was there any point you were questioning? Maybe, oh, can I win this one?
Yeah, I think it was the second safety car when I went on hards, I believe. I don't really remember, but there was one point where I was in 10th place. And yeah, it was a bit worrying that I make the right call. And at the time, I don't know if it was the best call, but in the end, it all came good, and yeah, just drove it to the end with Lewis, which on a penultimate lap, I think he spun by me. So yeah, last lap was then pretty easy.
Championship then. Is there any doubt?
Yeah, there's always doubt. Obviously, not in terms of pace, and I'm now leading quite well. But like I always say, anything can happen. Just like today, it could have been way worse than the win. Because I was in the pack as well, and there's always carnage there. And if you get hit one time and you are off, like what happened to Avesta, then you are out of the points. So anything can happen in the race. But yeah, looking good so far. I'm comfortable, but yeah, we'll see. 3 races to go.
Hey, Brendan, any questions from yourself?
I know it's a little, maybe just not too relevant to one, but Vesta did jump you into pits at one point, which is the second time it's happened this season. Do you have any idea why that might be the case now, second time round, or?
I don't know. I found it quite weird, but I don't know. I think it's maybe a game glitch or maybe internet problem or stuff. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I can't really sort it out myself. I timed the pit stop perfect, and I released the clutch as well perfect. So there's nothing from my side that I can do different about that. But yeah, I don't know what to change about it, but I think it's just unlucky.
Legend, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Congratulations on the win once again. Also very interesting, folks, about the pit stops. We had 2 pit stops under the 1.9 mark. We had 2 1.8 pit stops in the same section of pit stops, which is interesting for the Formula 1 game. There's a bit of driver element to that as well, of course. You've got to get your clutch release and stuff, but interesting nonetheless. Thank you very much, Legend. Over to our second place man, Lewis McWilliam, a man who... Look, he probably had one of his more interesting races. Lewis, very poor qualifying from the king of qualifying's usual standards. Were there any issues, or could you just not get a lap together?
The pace was just rubbish and just kept spinning, going offline and that, and then just ended up in the gravel for pretty much all my laps. It was really quite a dire experience.
Then in the race, second final lap, you were just under a second behind Legend, and all of a sudden we see you backwards. Was it your own mistake? Was there a technical issue? Did you get caught off guard by a bit of wind or something?
Yeah, no, I just caught the curb, and then as soon as you hit the curb, you're straight into the gravel, and then as soon as you're in the gravel, you're round, I suppose. I'm lucky to be ahead of them still, but I mean, it's what it is, I suppose.
And then last lap, then we saw Tyler go for a move round the outside in towards the final corner. Eventually, we saw him getting on the gravel and then losing third place to Luke Davies. He's not too happy, maybe, about that one from his perspective. What's your take on it?
I mean, I think he knew what he was doing around the outside of there. He was pushing people onto the curb out all race, mate. So I think he knew the risk of going around the outside of that corner. I think he knows that it's not the easiest move to pull off. And fair enough, he did pull it off, but he kept driving into the side of my car. I kept getting oversteer from that. So I mean, it's more his fault as well because he's just driving into the side of me, which is fucking up my car entirely. I mean, I think he's just a bit like of a sore loser because he just lost his podium record. I think he needs to calm down a little bit, maybe get a grip of himself. But that's what it is.
Brendan, any questions for Lewis?
Too much. It's just as you were vaulted into the front then after the last safety car, would you say you were a bit surprised by sticking with Legend for so long, or were you two nearly working together just to pull away eventually from those behind you?
Nah, mate, I was there because of the DRS. If I didn't have the DRS, I wouldn't have been there. I would have been behind Tyler in that. Quite lucky to have it, to be honest. My pace was awful, like terrible. I wouldn't have been behind him.
Lewis, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations. It's great to have you back in the post-race interviews. And hopefully we do get to hear from here. Yeah, he's already gone, by the way. Luke Davies, third place man. A man who we, I suppose we haven't... Actually, hold on a second. Luke informed me of a statistic a few weeks ago, and I think we've just broken it. Luke, you might be able to confirm this one for me. Is this the first time you, Legend, and Lewis have been on the podium together?
Yeah, I actually said it in the waiting room. I believe it is. Obviously, provisionally, we'll have a look at what happens after Stewards. But yeah, yeah. Basically, I mean, what 3 most successful drivers in FVR? 1, 2, 3. Not too bad.
You had a very intriguing race, maybe not as intriguing as Lewis, but you had an interesting one nonetheless. There was a couple of different strategy calls from you there. Firstly, how did you find the race? Secondly, what were the thinking behind those calls?
So yeah, honestly, I was really surprised with my pace. I think people know historically Sandvort's not been my best track. But yeah, I just had great pace, hooked the quali lap up, nearly on the front row, which I didn't expect. And yeah, mediums, I just felt amazing. It's probably the most comfortable I've felt at a track maybe on the entire game. I don't know if it showed in the pace, but everyone was so close. But yeah, honestly, great race. Felt great, really comfortable, and yeah, tried a different strategy on staying out on the hards. It was a bit optimistic. The safety car came out very quickly afterward. If that hadn't happened, and maybe it came out a bit later or not at all, then maybe something different would have happened. I think that should have still got us, but the mediums would have been very old by the end. So yeah, would have been interesting, but tried something different, and overall, haven't really paid that big of a price for it. Had better tyres anyway, and the mediums under the next safety car.
In terms of the championship, then for you, we know you can come back in the championship. You can give a good fight until even after the race, but it's looking very difficult now. I think you will admit. Are you just going to stick to what you've been doing, take it race by race, or is there some element of doubt maybe coming into your mind?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, nobody expected me to maybe win a championship. No one expected me to beat Legend to a championship, and I don't think anyone was expecting me to beat Legend twice to a championship. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Legend knows mistakes can happen. Happened last season, happened this season. Every driver's prone to them, and I think if something happens to him, hopefully I'm able to capitalise. Like today with Tyler, obviously. I think I want to speak a little bit on this incident. I have no idea what Lewis is doing, to be honest. I don't know how he's justifying it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to let Tyler back through just because that's racing. But he definitely deserved the position there. And yeah, I guess Tyler's not here to say it himself, so I'll say it. Lewis once again showed he does have a bit of racecraft, like a baked potato. So yeah, I mean, I mean, that's a few points over title in the championship, but I think, if Legends a few streets ahead, then it won't matter unless there's a mistake from him or something happens. So all I can do is maximise my results and hope, something happens to him.
Well, Luke, it's nice to hear a bit of a controversial take from you. Brendan, any questions?
Honestly, not too many questions, but would you say this result's probably the best you would have hoped for, really? Especially if, and do you think maybe in the next 3 races you might be able to outscore Legend at one of them at least?
Well, yeah, you look at it. I mean, obviously the gap might be a little more than one race where he messes up completely. But
Yeah.
I think maybe 25, 28, 30 points now. We'll see what happens with the Lewis penalty if he gets one. But I think it's going to take a lot. 3 rounds, I know that, but it's not impossible. I'm known a bit for my optimism, and I won't give it up until it's not mathematically possible anymore. So, yeah, that's all I can say. I'll be doing my best to maximise my results, and if I do that, then I can't ask for anything more.
Luke, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on the podium, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you very much.
Brendan, I think that was a very intriguing interview. How about you?
Yeah.
It's
it's
nice to
intriguing.
hear some passionate and fiery drivers for once, I suppose. What a race that was, really. What an interview, what a time, what a season. I can't think of your man, the streamer's quote, but you know what I mean. That had a bit of everything, that one. Here, the Dutch Grand Prix, drama, controversy, strategy, Legends' favourite safety cars, overtaking, defending, aggressiveness, fantastic interviews, and even a bit of Evan singing to go along with it. A big thanks for joining myself and Brendan once again. We return on Friday, not me and Brendan. FVR returns on Friday for the Gran Turismo Championship, and that'll be 7:30 on the Twitch. That'll be 8 o'clock here on the YouTube with Maxime Glushko and Carla Demazion. Some fabulous racing there on Friday night, so make sure you go watch that one now. And we shall leave you off to do exactly that. Thank you very much for joining us. We do greatly appreciate your support. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time. Bye-bye.
He's going to show us now.